Good morning. Thought we'd start this video from the comfort of my camper van. A little bit chilly today. The weather in the UK is we've got this kind of static swirling system at the moment that's struggling to move. So we're kind of getting the same repetitive weather. It's the nearest I can tell you is the weather at the moment, quite frankly, is more like India or Thailand, where you've got kind of monsoon conditions. So it's sunny 1 minute and then it's just pouring with rain the next minute for sort of 5 minutes, and then it warms up, it gets very humid, and then the mornings have been quite cold and chilly actually. So very unusual. We've all got to watch this environment, haven't we, because it's changing before our very eyes, isn't it? And no one's taking notice, but there we go. Without any further ado, you can see I'm changed already. We're epoxying, so I've got my best sailing t-shirt on, of course. But without any further ado, we're going to get on and get these jobs, hammer through these jobs as quick as we can today. You just need to, first of all, just give the whole thing a bit of a sanding, very loose sanding. I am using P80 just to get rid of all these little bobbles that we've got that will cause an uneven surface. And then, yeah, we've got a few little weird bubbles on the epoxy, but only on the wood. And those need to come off as well. But it's all dry, it's all really solid. That's so solid, you know. It almost doesn't need anything else, but I think it will be prudent to get this, just a couple of pieces of fiberglass along here, because it will make it much stronger. So the skeg is probably going to get sanded almost back down to the wood. Yeah, I don't think there's any point in epoxying it, to be honest with you. It's just going to get sanded back off. But that's all ready to rock and roll. Right, let's have a look at how we're going to do this. So this tape, if anything's a little bit thin, but we're just going to do one up like that, and then maybe another one just overlapping like that. So we might do one there, and I think that will be enough. So there's our 4 pieces for each side, and then we just need some little pieces to go across here, I think. So before we put the 404 in, we're just going to use a little bit of this just to wet this out as little as we can, just to give it a nice surface. I gave these brushes a good whacking before I used them to try and get all the loose hairs out of them, but we've still had a couple. Okay, let's try and now get the 404 mixed in. I might try with 1 scoop now, can always add it. So we do 1 heaped scoop, see where that gets us. So there's the consistency. It's almost breaking the spatula as I mix it. Now this will go off fairly quick as well, so you have to account for that. But look, you can see it's extremely stiff. It certainly won't come out of the certainly won't come out of the, pour out of the container. And then we're just going to slap that on. Hopefully we've got enough here. Might have to, it doesn't have to be neat and tidy, this, because we're going to put the tape on top. I've done it a little bit thinner where the handle is, if you like, because we know that that part is going to be well, we've got less for the fiberglass to go up. So here goes nothing. I am getting attacked by flies here. So this one's going to go up the skeg as much as we can. Do that. Something like this, and don't forget I haven't even wetted this out yet, so at the moment we're just trying to get this as flat and flush as we can. Get this nicely wet out. I've done 3 scoops of epoxy resin and I'm hoping that's going to be enough. I'm also hoping I can get it wetted through both pieces here. I have realised that. Now, let's smooth that out now, just nicely with the brush, and get a lovely nice curve. That's the important thing. And then we're going to do exactly the same this side. It's going to wet this out under here first, because the other side I didn't do that. It might be better just to make sure this gets wet, although I can see it got wet the other side. So last thing we want is peeling fiberglass. Now I don't want this to go on the paint, so this one's a little bit tighter, but there we go. There we go. There we go, let's put that back over there. There we go, a little bit like that. And this will just stop the ends from kind of coming up. Not the first one down here today. You may have noticed there's 2 cars behind me. One I know, it's one of the boats on the moorings. The other one I don't know. But there we go. So, just making sure this is as wet as it needs to be. We're going to get the peel ply on. Now this, you need to make sure you leave loads of room so you can pull it off. So you need to keep a bit of it dry, otherwise it's really hard to pull off. And the peel ply will do 2 things. It will stop the the amino blush, I think it's called, process from happening, so you won't need to sort of wash off the top of it before you overcoat, and it should smooth it all down as well, so we shouldn't have to sand it, or minimise the sanding anyway. Do another piece. I think it's double-sided, this, and then that piece can just go like this. We'll see if it works or I've done anything hugely wrong, but time will tell, as with everything else. There we go. One skeg almost done. The fiberglassing done anyway. Anyway, I've got my toolkit out. So the first thing I was just going to do was just going to pop a few of these in here. Hopefully we can squeeze it all in. That should maybe go like that. And we'll get a couple of these in as well. They can go in those wings. Oh, I need one of those eyelets. They can go in there. And these we need. And then, you know, before I forget, it's always useful to have your spares kit. These lockers, this one particular, well, both of them actually, are proving so useful. It's unbelievable. So let's see if I can demonstrate this to you. Here's the Mizzen cleat, and it's just not gripping properly. And if you have a closer look in there, this is actually plastic. You can see the teeth. When you compare them to that, they're just worn out. So maybe we could have kept the Mizzen line on, but you know, this line was going spare. So what we're going to do, you can see here, look how, well, sometimes it does, but there you go. It gets into that sort of rut. Whereas if we go get the other end of this and just undo this knot, pop it into this one, you'll see that, look, watch, it just grips. Oh yeah, oh my God. This has got me into so much trouble. It's unbelievable. So, you know, we'll use it with this line that we've got. And if we find that we're struggling with this line, we will get the old blue line back in there. So what we need to do first is get this line out. This is the Mizzen sheet, and just double check those. Yeah, they're the right ones. So we need to, let me feel that. Yeah, they're bolted in. We need to go and get a screwdriver and our little bolt spanners, and we need to get that replaced. There's one. And then here's number 2. So you do have to be careful with the bronze and the brass. It's very soft, especially brass. So that's off. Need to give that a little clean, don't we, really? I've got a cloth here. Try and make sure we put the screws on the same, the nuts on the same bolts. There we go. That is one good job done, to be honest with you. Kind of amazed I've not sorted that sooner, to be frank, but there we go. Look at that. Yeah, that's much better. I've also gone with the anodized silver one because actually, look, it matches the deck quite nicely and it's not too shiny. I did get the stainless steel one out here, and with the sun now out, I did notice it was like crazy bright, glinting in the sun, and it would have, you know, it would have just ended up blinding me, I'm pretty sure. There we go. So here's the rudder stock. We're going to take this off and we're going to replace it with this drop nose pin, which does look, oh, it's going to be tight, but it is the one that they spec, so we'll try it and see. Now this usually needs to be unscrewed. Now I gave this a really good sort of oiling and whatnot before we put it in, so it should just screw up, but you do need to unscrew this. There we go. So that's out. Now this is the drop nose pin, stainless steel 316, and it's got a little clippy thing in here, so it's a bit awkward to get out, but that's the point. You have to push it out and put it in, and it has a working length and a full length. So the working length is to that bit there, and the full length is obviously to there, and it's obviously got a diameter. So let's pop that on. I think I'll put it on this way round because it seems to be the natural order. And then, right, let's just double check this fits through first. Ah, ooh, that's interesting. It's struggling to get through there. Ah. Okay, so those little rivets are actually struggling. So we'll go through. Whoosh. So it will go through, but we're struggling. These little rivets on the side here are just protruding slightly. So let me go and get the other one out of the kit. Ah, so those definitely don't protrude so much. There you go, look. Oh, those are fine. So this one's just protruding a little bit. So we need to maybe give that a little hammer just to flatten those down a little bit. And then that just, instead of bolting through, that should go through there. Let's just try and line that up a bit better. There is some corrosion on here. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a lot of corrosion on there. Yeah, that doesn't actually fit. See, that would be the thread of the bolt, wouldn't it? I don't want to damage the thread of the bolt, otherwise we're not going to get the bolt through. So that's not going to fit on my boat, that. So it definitely fits pretty well on this side. In fact, it's too small on that side, but this side, that is not going through. So what we'll have to do is either drill that out. Now, you know what? We can drill that out because the bolt doesn't have to thread in there. It's bolted both sides. I've got my drill set with me. I'm going to drill that out to fit this a bit better. Right then, let's pop this on, see what happens. There we go. Well, that's brilliant, isn't it? That works really well. Really well. We're at the back of the boat, and here's the ladder. The first thing I wanted to double check was if it actually sinks or not. So let's go out here, and the answer to this will become apparent very quickly. There we go. So it does sink, which is good. So the first thing we need to do is undo this, because nothing's going to happen if we can't get these lines under here. So first things first, yes, so that's good. I was a bit worried this line wouldn't actually go under here. Now, oh, that's it. So there's now two ways we could do this. We could either just have it under there, and then we tie this both ends off here and here, but actually, to be honest with you, we haven't even got enough line for that. Or we can tie these off nice and equally, so about there, and put a ring in. So that's what I'm going to. Ooh, that was lucky. So I'm going to do this, like that, and then we're going to make sure that's about the right level. Now, this isn't a proper sailing knot, but it will just do for now. So we've got the ring there, and then what we can then do is have one line that will attach to. So I'm just going to pull it up at the risk of losing the top rung here, and then we also need to be able to stow this. Let's just double check that. Yeah, okay, we've got to just loosen that off a tickle there. So the trick with this, do you know what? If we'd have made these a tickle shorter, they would have slotted under here. But as it happens, they do go quite nicely under there. I think if we can somehow connect that to here, oh my god, that would be so cool if we could do that. And I think that would hold one person. Failing that, we get a line that will just connect to one of these. And then I think the pressure of it here and on the one cleat, those cleats have a braking stress that's way bigger than my weight. So I think that will be the answer. Right, like that. Like that. So there's a bow line that side, and then we'll tie it off on this cleat this side. and then that'll allow us to alter the height a little bit. I'm quite chuffed with that. And then, I'm just hoping I don't damage this bit here as well, but you see, these will keep this open. Now, we're going to do one test here, which is to check the poles will take my weight without deforming. Yeah, and they look pretty cool. So, there we go. We shall give those a test. Now, the other thing we could do is put a little elastic bungee around those to keep them nice and secure. And you could even put it around here. So in an emergency, you could either cut it or you can just undo it quite nicely. So this is the, not the leech, I think it's called, of the sail, the luff or the leech. And then you can see, actually, that's broken. I didn't realise, but this eyelet, look at this, it's just coming apart. Look, it's just coming apart. So they've seen better days. These are okay here, but look at this one as well. This one's actually come apart, and I did hear a little rip last time round. So we need to redo these, and pretty pronto. Oh yeah, metal. I say I'm going to get rid of the eyelet, but there's this tiny little piece of eyelet left. But I mean, it's like rotted all the way through that eyelet. Now the stitching still seems sound. So there we go, they're slightly large. In fact, do you know what? They're not too far off. Yeah, see if we can get that to be honest with you, the hole that we need is almost where, look, this is here anyway. So let's chop that little bit out. I think this is going to be a case of being softly, gently, and kind of getting this ring. As long as we can get this ring to fit through here, we should be good. Yeah, I think that's okay. So let's get the other side of this and let's hammer this down. So you can see the bead, it's just moved the bead a little out of the way, but that looks pretty good. Let's just give it another little tap for sure, to make sure. Yeah, look at that, that's definitely gonna, oh yeah, oh I'm really pleased with that actually. We actually need to snip this string, don't we, because there's too much string there. So that's one down, that survived as well. We're going to do this one as well because this one's about to come off. So we'll repeat the process and hopefully that'll be the mainsail sorted. There we go. There's that one and there's that one done, and they're solid as a rock. They are brilliant, and these are proper marine brass, so they should last for a long time. Typical, isn't it, that you try and do something like this and the wind just completely rears up. It's just settled, believe it or not, but look at these waves it's brought in. I've just had to reset the anchor because we were being pushed into shore. But anyway, there we go. This is a great test because, as you can see, the wind is coming in. Now, what I've done, I actually set this up outside the boat, so you know it was easy enough to do that. But what we need to now do is maybe tilt it, because the sun's coming from this side. As you can see, it's hardly covering the boat, so we need to bring this down and that up, which I think will make it a little bit more resilient. So I'm going to do that now and see what happens. So I've got it hooked under the horse traveller and I've got it hooked around, you may just be able to see the racing cleat on the front there for the spinnaker, and then tied off there. And we've managed to get this angle now, which is pretty good. Now the wind's, that is acting like one big balloon, isn't one big sail. But look at the shade it's given us. So we've got shade there, shade down here. Yeah, you know, that does work, doesn't it? I'm really pleased with it. It's been given a really good stress test. I think, unfortunately, it's a little bit windy to keep it up. and it's pushing the boat into the shore too much. So I'm going to bring it down and we'll notch that one off as a great test though. This job particularly is something that I've been needing to do for some time, and that is this little cleat here. Now, we've tried everything. We've put bigger and bigger screws in here. We've even put real specialist 6.3mm ones in, and it's just not working out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get these a little bit of an angle on them, and then we're going to try and fill them from the top. It doesn't matter if they're a little bit messy, because we're going to put a cleat, another one of these over the top of it. So here goes. So that's given it, look, a little V shape, and now hopefully we can start to layer in some tiny pieces of epoxy and fiberglass to fix that. I've done this because I did it while I was chatting away to people, and then we'll probably have to put a little bit more in next week. I'll just have to be careful about sitting on that for now. I want to do this next, which is to get this shackle finally done, put on here. But I need this up, and I cannot undo this shackle here at the moment, so it's proving to be a bit difficult, this. And other than that, we're kind of done for the day. So so I've got these, and we're going to try and get, it's this shackle we've got to get undone before we can even, before we can even do anything. So let's have a look, see if we can actually. Aha! There we go. Is that going? Yes. So that goes on this little shackle here. That's an uphaul. Now, I don't think we need that shackle anymore, because I think this twisted one will go through here and go through there. But the first thing we've got to do now is get this. This has been twisted round by someone, obviously because of the problem of this kind of going through here. So we're going to have to try and twist this back now. So that's my next job. Ooh, that is almost there. So if we can just do it like that. So, you know, what we need is for this to kind of sort of travel, be straight, so all the lines will travel down through the centreboard slot. So that, you see, will go like that, and that will go on here. So we need that to go. Yeah. Oh, that's what I've done. I've put it in the wrong way. I actually need it to be like that. There we go. Like that. There we go. So now the pulleys are all in line. There we go. This one is as good as shot, but we'll keep it for posterity. You can see how rusty it is. Look at that. And then that's done. That's a really good job done.